Honestly, most rap music is such garbage, dude. Like, such poor examples. It's pathetic. I just went and saw Rick Ross perform. And, dude, the guy has titties. I don't care how much money he has. He's like a big fat guy on stage with tits. Like, he's a man. He shouldn't have tits. And then his message is garbage. Like, all these rappers, like, listen to them, and you're just going to end up in jail or dead, or your girlfriend's going to leave you because you think it's cool to go out and sleep with a bunch of women. That's not the leadership and the type of examples we need. Welcome back to another episode of the Unstoppable Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Michael Crane, down here at the Unstoppable HQ in beautiful Santa Barbara, California. Check it out, you guys. Please subscribe and share this channel. I need more people in the world to hear my message. In fact, I'm going to change the world. I already know it. God placed it on my heart, but I'm not going to change it by myself. I need all of you out there who want a better life for yourself, for your family, for your community. All of you out there that resonate with my message, I need your help. I need you to share this message. We need to get more people tuned in. Because right now, guess what? All the kids, they're watching TikTok videos. All the young adults, they're listening to stupid fucking music that's telling them to smoke and smack bitches' asses and all this stuff. Like, dude, as I get older, I feel my age, right? Because when I was a kid, I listened to that music. When I was a kid, I was the one smoking. I was wilding out, or whatever the hell you guys say, right? I was reckless as hell. But as you get older and you have a family and you have people to take care of, like, you recognize all that stuff is so detrimental. Honestly, most rap music is such garbage, dude. Like, such poor examples. It's pathetic. I just went and saw Rick Ross perform. And, dude, the guy has titties. I don't care how much money he has. He's like a big fat guy on stage with tits. Like, he's a man. He shouldn't have tits. And then his message is garbage. Like, all these rappers, like, listen to them, and you're just going to end up in jail or dead, or your girlfriend's going to leave you because you think it's cool to go out and sleep with a bunch of women. That's not the leadership and the type of examples we need. Now, don't get me wrong. There's rappers that are good people. There's rappers that have a good message. You know, they are good family men and leaders. But the mainstream media and, like, the TikTok videos and the YouTube reels and the stuff and the content that our younger generation is consuming is garbage. So if you really care about your family, you better do something about it, man, because otherwise they just might end up like another loser that you see on MTV or YouTube or TikTok telling people it's cool to be that way. So that's my rant for the day. Here. But the reason I bring this up is because my family's my number one value. Like, all I care about is the fact that my wife and my children are healthy and happy and thriving. If that's not okay, nothing's okay, right? Having them at home, knowing that every day I'm going out to fight for not just my dreams, but for their dreams, for, you know, their longevity, for their health, for their well-being. It gives me so much fire inside of my heart and soul. Like, there's nothing I wouldn't do for them. And in fact, there was a time in my life where I used to pray to God every night just to give me this opportunity, just to give me a wife that I could cherish and treat like a queen, and children that I could raise the right way, because I didn't have that growing up. So you see, everything that I do, everything that I say stems from my life experience and pain that I've experienced. Pain is such a great motivator in life. In fact, it's the best motivator, because when you know the pain of decisions that you've made, you know what's right and wrong. And if that pain is harsh enough, it stings enough, you'll never make that mistake again. And so my choices early on in life, my mistakes, me thinking I was in a rap music video living that way, like, that's what led me to being who I am today. Knowing what that path led to, knowing the destruction that I caused, knowing that I almost lost my life, knowing that I almost didn't get this chance, like, that's what drives me every day. So I have my book right here on the desk, and I was just reading the back of it. I want to read it to you guys because it kind of puts things in perspective for me, and maybe it will for you too. At 23, Sean Crane was sentenced to 7 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit, with nothing positive to show for his life to that point, and a massive challenge ahead. He had a decision to make. Would he give up and let the rest of his life pass him by like the first 23 did, or could he face his fears, fight through the pain, and pursue the life he always wanted? From a small cement box, Sean was able to take control of his life. He completely transformed his mentality, his routines, and the results he got in his life. So the reason I wanted to read that, number one, everything that I do in life stems from that moment, okay? It put everything in perspective for me. Number two, it forced me to make a decision. I felt like I came to a point in my life in those moments where I had to choose. Am I all in, or am I just going to die in this cell? Like it got to that extent, right? And so for a lot of people, they never get to the point where they have to make a definitive decision about who they're going to be and then commit to it and follow through for the rest of their life. So they wait and they wait and they procrastinate and they put it off and they start and they stop and they start and they stop, and their whole fucking life passes them by because they were never all in. Their whole life passes them by and they never get to the point where they can say, that's the person I want to be. When they look in the mirror, they never get to the point where like, that's who I'm supposed to be. This is the life I always dreamt of living. They never get to that point, and it breaks my heart to know so many people succumb to that fate because they can't make a fucking decision and follow through with massive action. Like, why can't you make a decision to be the best dad you've ever been and never stop? Why can't you make a decision that you're not going to be on your phone around your kids? You're not going to drink in front of your kids. You're not going to argue with your wife in front of your kids. Why can't you get to the point where you commit to being that man? Because you love them so much. Why can't you get to the point where you're like, you know what? I'm devoted to my wife for the rest of our lives. I'm no longer going to look at other women or think of other women. I'm no longer going to text or go on Instagram and look at people's pages. I'm no longer going to talk or do shady things behind my wife's back. In fact, I'm no longer going to ever be negative towards my wife. I'm no longer going to allow a day to pass me by where she doesn't feel my love. I'm no longer going to miss these special moments. Every day I want to make sure that she feels all of my love, all of my affection. I want her to feel wanted and loved and cherished. When are you going to make a decision that you're going to be the healthiest, best version of yourself you've ever been? You really need snacks and desserts and this unhealthy food that much? You can't make a decision and go, you know what? I'm never going to let a day pass me by where I don't crush a workout in the gym, where I'm not eating for a purpose over pleasure, where I'm not looking at my physique as an example to other people, where I'm not treating my physique as the most important thing in my life, because without my health, without taking care of my health, I'm not going to be here to do the things I say I want to do. When are you going to get to that point? When are you going to get to the point where you realize a job that you hate is like a slow death sentence, and you don't have to work that 9 to 5 to collect a paycheck? You can make a decision right now to develop skills, study people online or in other businesses or other markets. You can learn those skills. You can become like those people. You could either start your own business. You can invest in other businesses. You can generate enough income and revenue to save up to do those things. And you, in 5 years from now, could have the type of career that you've always wanted. You could be in control of what you do every day, your schedule, no boss to listen to. Or if you're working with other people, it's people that you actually want to be around. Why don't you recognize that that's possible? Why don't you make a decision today to do all those things? Superhero dad, best husband in the world, a career and a job and a life that you love, and a physique, a body that when you look in the mirror, you're so damn proud of who you see that you want to walk around everywhere with your shirt off. You can't wait for summertime. You're like, dude, look at the results I have. You know how much hard work went into this physique? You know how much discipline went into this physique? So many people look at guys who are healthy and fit, and they want to say something negative. Oh, that guy just cares about aesthetics. Oh, that guy's so cocky and arrogant. Dude, is it wrong to feel proud of who you are? So the people saying that are people that typically don't have the results they want. They're typically not living in the body that they're proud of, and they don't get particularly excited when they go to the pool or the beach and they have to take off their shirt. Dude, you guys, when are you going to make a decision just to be the person that you would absolutely love and respect across the board? The reason I'm talking about this is because every day I go through my own moral inventory about how I lived that day. And if just one thing stands out amongst 100 positive things, one thing that I regret or I know I could have done better, that shit eats me alive. And I make a mental note. I'm like, that will not happen tomorrow. Fuck that. I'm never going to do that again. And it might be something so silly and trivial. For instance, yesterday, there was a million things going on at home. It was 6 p.m, and I was taking out the trash, and the dog got in, so the floor was dirty and whatever, right? This is called life. Welcome to life. But I was walking through the kitchen, and Scarlett stopped me, and she goes, Dad, hey, I got this idea. I want to be on stage, and there's going to be flowers, and the fire's going to come out, and I'm going to be standing on stage speaking. And she wants to be a performer, right? She wants to be a superstar like Taylor Swift or Beyonce. And in that moment, I had a bunch of things that were pulling me in this direction. And I still stopped, and I looked her in the eye, and I listened to her, and I told her how awesome that idea was. But guess what? Last night, for some reason, I woke up, and that's something I thought about. I said, you should have spent more time with Scarlett in that moment. You should have dropped whatever you were doing and went and sat next to her and talked to her about that for 5 minutes. And I feel bad about not doing that. And If anybody else was watching from the outside looking in, they wouldn't think anything of it. But you see, for me, I know those are all the little things, like that intuition I just shared with you. Those are all the types of things that used to come at me and stand out when I was in my jail cell facing life in prison. It was all those special little moments. Like, that's a special moment, man. When Scarlett's 30 years old or 15 years old, we're not going to have those moments. Like, these are very, like, they're very precious. It's temporary. And so in that instant, last night, I was like, damn, dude, like, next time she wants to tell me about this vision she has to perform on stage, I'm going to like go above and beyond. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to have her tell me all about it. Then we're going to write it out together on paper. We're going to color it all in. Shit, maybe we'll even set that up for her next birthday. Like, this is the way I want to live life, Like, one little moment in time, one thing that my daughter tells me could become this event that we do every year. Like, you see the creativity there. You see the depth that, like, I take these thoughts and these emotions and these, like, feelings in this way of living. I do that all day long, man. And it helps me to live this life to the fullest. So every night I run through that moral inventory, and whatever stands out, whatever one little moment that I feel like I could have done better, like I take that to heart and I take it personal. Because if I feel it that way and it's personal to me, and like you see, I get emotional when I talk about it, I'm not going to forget next time that happens. And that's the key for me. So this experience going to prison changed my life forever. I drew a line in the sand and I said, forever, I'm living on this side. I made a decision and I never looked back. And so many of you right now, if you were just willing to make that decision and draw that line in the sand and say forever, your whole world would transform. The first thing you would notice is that you feel different. You're excited. You're nervous. Oh my God, I'm doing this. That's how you should feel. You should feel butterflies. You should feel apprehensive. You should be like, can I do this? Oh my gosh. Yes, that pressure is what's going to mold you into the great person that you're supposed to be, right? The next thing you would notice is that you start to feel more inspired about your life, more excited. You're waking up with a pep in your step. You have something to strive for. Like, whatever those goals that you set, whatever that line that you draw in the sand, you say, I'm living over here forever, whether it's sobriety, whether it's in your career, whether it's exercise and health and fitness, whatever it is, now you have something to strive for. So now the pressure's on. When the pressure's on, you feel more alive. You have more inspiration. You don't want to sleep as much. You don't want to waste time. You have stuff to do every second of the day. You want to be productive and you're going to be more focused, right? The third thing that's going to start to happen is you feel the transformation take place. You might see it in the mirror in your physique. You might feel it in your spirit. You might hear your wife say, hey, you seem different lately, or your kids are treating you different, or people at work are calling on it. You're going to start to get results. The results are going to start to manifest, and that's going to show you that, damn, what you're doing is possible, and from there, you're never going to look back. I hope one person at least listens to this and is willing to draw that line in the sand and say forever. And if that's you, I want you to go on Instagram or Facebook and call your fucking shot and tell the world what you're committed to for the rest of your life, and tag me in it. Tag me on at Sean Crane Official on Instagram or Sean Michael Crane on Facebook, and I'll reshare your video. I want to see how many people do that. I'd be surprised if anyone does, because you know what? Most people are so scared to speak their truth. I want you to be different, because I need you to help me change the world. Let's fucking go.